Let's talk about our number 6, Bissouma and Bentancur, because Bentancur's had a fairly good season this year. Obviously not the greatest performance at Brighton, but I think apart from that, I think he's been performing really well. But then Bissouma, in his own right as well, is having a really good season. Ever since the balloon gate, I feel like he's responded in the most perfect manner, probably saving the best till last against West Ham, where I thought Bissouma was an absolute monster in that middle of the park. So who do you think maybe has the shirt at the moment in terms of the number 6 position, and who do you prefer in that role for Spurs?
Again, that's a tough question, and it's a brilliantly tough question. I'm glad that we have that question, and there is no definite answer. Is my first point. The second thing is to bring it up, but Bentancur, I don't know what's happening with the ban. So if something happens with Bissouma, it's a bit of a problem there. So maybe that needs to be a little bit addressed. And the other thing I find very interesting is they were interviewing him on Spurs play after the game, and they said to him, what's it like? Because he's used to obviously going forward. How hard is it to hold that position to protect? He said it's very, very hard, but you just got to stay disciplined and stay focused. So it's obviously come from a little bit down to balloon gate. I think you're right. I think that's made him sort of get focused, got a slap around the back of the legs for what he did. And it's turned him into this player, and that's got to be down to Ange. He's brought that out of him. He's made him focus. He's given him like the responsibility, I suppose, if you want, of like, you're protecting this defence, and he's doing it great. I think it just about goes to Bissouma. Lovely problem to have. I love Bentancur. I think he's absolutely superb. He brings a bit more flair to it. But I think the way that we play with such a high line and having that defence, and sometimes you look how open we are. I think Bissouma's a little bit more suited to that in the top games. But I think, again, gentle rotation. You won't lose hardly any how good we are in that number 6 role. And also, to throw another spanner in the works, I'd like to see someone like maybe Archie Gray on Thursday in that number 6 role. I've never seen him there, but he was great for Leeds in certain areas. He played against Chelsea for Leeds in that number 6 role and sort of run the show a bit there. So it's an even bigger lovely problem, I think, than just 2 of them. But my number 1's Bissouma, probably there overall at the moment.
Yeah, but it's so great, as you say, to have 2 of those number 6s playing at a good level at the moment, where we're not sure which one we should play because they're both in such good form. A lot of the talk at the beginning of the season was, that's a position that we desperately need to upgrade, and that position is a position where if we don't upgrade, then it's going to hold us back. But they're both performing very well at the moment. So what's your feeling on that in general? Like, do you still feel like we have to have a new player in that position, or do you think the solution could be internal with those 2?
No, I think they've answered it well. I think I don't think it's no longer a position that but I was the same as you guys thinking. We need number 6, but I don't think it's as much now. I think if you have like Bissouma, Bentancur, Gray, you've got 3 there. Why would we go out and spend money in the market of something where we've got 2 now that are performing brilliantly there. We can't really choose too much between them, and then we've got an incredible backup. But when Gray come on, he looks so composed, doesn't he?
That little touch in the box, wasn't it? Was incredible the way he took it away from Jarrod Bowen.
That's it. Yeah, brilliant. And I think we've actually gone from this is a trouble position to strength in depth within a few months, and I don't think we need to be looking at that position, to be honest. There is.
I think a lot will say come the end of the season, because we are only 8 games in, and obviously this time last season we didn't think we had too many problems in that position either, because Bissouma was performing out of his skin, and then he lost it, didn't he? After the first 10 games, mistakes started to creep in, confidence started to sap out his game. So I want to see it over a longer stretch of time from Bissouma, because we've seen this before where he performs really well at the start of the season, then goes off the boil. I'm very happy with him at the moment, don't get me wrong, but I just want to see consistency throughout the season from him, because I don't think we've seen that in a Spurs shirt yet.
No, and that red card against Luton, when after that, he didn't come back as the same player, did he? No,
exactly.
Right.
Yeah, but at least now, but if that happens with Bissouma, now we've got Bentancur to come in, whereas last season, Højbjerg wasn't really cutting it in that position, was he? Yeah. I don't think Bentancur maybe had the fitness to play that position. Yeah. But I'm really encouraged that Bentancur's finally getting to full fitness now. And it's probably a shame for him because, I know he had a bad game against Brighton, like a lot of the team did. But you could probably argue he didn't deserve to lose his place to Bissouma. But he did come out of the team, and Bissouma took his chance, didn't he? So You talked about Bentancur's ban obviously looming. We'll have to wait and see what happens with that. But do you feel like we're seeing Bentancur signs of him getting back to his best as well? Because after that long injury, he wasn't quite the same, was he, last season? But we're seeing a new Bentancur in this season, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely. I don't think with Bissouma's rise means that Bentancur is going out of form, and why he's in the team is because of any bad form from Bentancur. I think it's just literally he feels he was more suited for that team. Again, similar to maybe the Kulusevski and Maddison. I don't think that we're going to see a three in midfield constantly like that. I don't think we're going to see that because there's too many good players in there that can do the same job. I think what we'll see, hopefully, with all these games and what Ange cried out for is a gentle rotation. But for you could put Bentancur or Bissouma in there, and you'd be happy going with that lineup, wouldn't you? You'd be going into a game, you'd be looking at those. The one thing I will say though is that was Bentancur losing his place after Bentancur didn't have an international break. I think he had a bit of rest there, and he's still Bissouma. So I imagine that's something to throw into the pack about where he sees his top player there at the moment.
Yes.
So maybe there is a gap. What we think.
Michael McCormack is in the comments, and he's saying, "Do you have an Archie Gray song yet?" That's a good question.
Actually. I have two or three ideas. I'm waiting for him to get a nice game to drop it, but there's a few ideas out there.
He's keeping it on ice. And very clever, very clever. We're ready to go. All right. As soon as Gray drops an absolute, an absolute stormer, we're coming right to James Black. We're already waiting.
Come to me. They're ready.
How many others you got in your back pocket?
Well, you kind of like.
Once Werner scores a hat trick, you don't know what he's got cooking.
It's such a fun job. I just have like. I started doing well by writing about the game I was at. Like I don't know if you guys were there, but I'd change like little bits about a certain game I was at. So you kind of like work off what the fan wants to hear right there and then a little bit as well. So I do it quite quickly in my head. Really, it's quite a fun job. It's quite quick to do. But yeah, I've got quite a few in my back pocket here and there, and just try and bring the right runs out at the right time. Much like Ange with this midfield, just got to use the right ones at the right times. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. I just love all the songs that you made. I sometimes just see myself just singing them around the flat. You know, I'm going to get my son who's 10 months old. He's going to be a whiz at all these songs by the time he's able to speak. Maybe I have to get him recording and send them over to you. But
so what I did see of you, I think it was on your birthday. I think that put up was McNamara's band on a tube. It was brilliant.
that was on the way to the Champions League final in Madrid.
I love that video.
I was steaming. I was absolutely steaming.
Whenever we have a bad defeat, James, there's this happy place. Go back to that video.
It was brilliant. Iconic.
Yeah,
and I love that. I love McNamara's band, man. I love that shit.
Were you on stage in Madrid? Right? Was that you?
No, I was actually at the club had asked me to go to the stadium. And
you were at the stadium that day. Yeah.
Perform at the stadium in front of the fans that were all watching it on the screens.
That's right.
Because I wrote the Madrid song, I wrote the LA lyrics one.
That's right.
I was. Not only was I the happiest ever in my life because we're in a final, then I get told that, and then that handball. So it went from that to the absolute.
Yeah. Next time you're going to be on the fan zone in surely wherever the final is. No.
Bilbao.
Fan zone in Bilbao. We're going to have to keep the stage warm for you.
I'm there with the Archie Gray song from Michael McCormack.
Then Archie Gray is going to score the winner, and we're going to lift the trophy. You know, the first time I think we saw you play was after the Everton game, last game of the season before the Champions League final. Well, you were playing.
You was on stage outside.
You were outside in the Park Lane Square, whatever it's called.
That's right. Yeah. Was that the first time you got? Yeah. I started at Wembley. Weirdly.
Oh, Wembley. Because I remember there was clips of GR. Do you remember there were clips of?
I don't think we ever saw it.
No, we never. I saw it on social media.
Where did you play at Wembley? At Box Park?
I played at the ground at some bars in Wembley. Like it's, I said to the club, there was someone playing, and I goes, "Why is he not playing Tottenham?" Like the job didn't exist, basically.
He was just playing like random songs. You mean?
Yeah, just playing like a bit of Superstition or something. No disrespect, brilliant musician. I said, "Well, why can't? Can you give me a go? I'll give me a free ticket, and I'll can I come and play? And I did, and it just lucked out. And Mickey Hazard was there, and he said, I'll sing along if you start playing Spurs songs. So I was like, I've only got Spurs songs. I don't want to play anything else. And so we just really, and it just, because I wasn't really like a musician, I was more like a Spurs fan with a guitar. I think that's where it kind of sort of helped out for me, basically. But you guys helped me out loads. You shared something right at the start of that LA thing. Right? Do you remember? We had a chat.
I remember we shared one of his songs. Yeah,
that's right. It was brilliant. So you helped me out loads at the start.
Amazing. And we're always willing to share your stuff because it's absolutely brilliant. So keep doing what you're doing, my friend.